Hi guys, the Metal Maniac back again, and in this video I'm going to be doing a review of the live album, Priest Live by Judas Priest. This live album was recorded during their Turbo Tour, and it was released in 1987. Alright, so before I get into it, I'm going to name off the band members really quick. Rob Halford on vocals, Glenn Tipton on lead guitar, KK Downing on lead guitar, Ian Hill on bass, and Dave Holland on drums. So, the live album opens up with Out in the Cold, which is one of the very few songs from the Turbo album that's on here. Also, all the songs from the Turbo album that they perform live on this live album have never been played live again except for Turbo Lover. Turbo Lover is a song that they always play live, but like I said, the rest of the live versions of the songs from Turbo never played live again. Anyway, so the next song is Heading Out to the Highway, which I believe was from Point of Entry, and I don't like that album, and I don't like this song, so meh. Next up is a live version of Metal Gods. Metal Gods is a very tricky song live. Sometimes it sounds good live, sometimes it doesn't. For some reason to me, like, it really comes down to how they play it live and just the overall mixing and mixing and sort of like audio-wise of live albums. This version is actually pretty good. I do like it. I wouldn't say it's better than the studio version, but, you know, it is definitely better than most of the other live versions I've heard. But yeah, Metal Gods, pretty good live version. Next up is Breaking the Law. This is probably the best or second best live version of Breaking the Law, because I really love the live version on 98 Live Meltdown. This version is also really good. It might even be better than that version, I don't know, because again, I love the 98 Live Meltdown version of Breaking the Law. Yeah, just a really good version. Also, there's an aspect I like about this live version more than the studio version, and that's the speed. It's sped up pretty fast, and here's the thing. Some Judas Priest songs, they speed up super fast, and on the live versions, when they do that, it doesn't really work that well. This is one of the songs when they speed it up live, it sounds great and even better than the studio version. I love the speed on this one, just the rapid fire speed. But in terms of the overall sound, I do prefer the studio version. But yeah, just a really great live version. And I just love how fast it is. And again, it's definitely either my first or second favorite of that song live. But yeah, great live version of Breaking the Law. Next up is Love Bites, which is another one that they don't. Well, this isn't from Turbo, but it's just overall a Judas Priest song they very rarely play live. I don't know why. I love this song. It's one of my favorites from Defenders of the Faith. But a lot of people kind of just. I don't think a lot of people hate it, but I do think a lot of people kind of just think it's just okay. But I think it's one of the best songs from Defenders of the Faith. Yeah, really great live version. I absolutely love it. Then we get to Some Heads Are Gonna Roll. Another great live version. I slightly prefer the studio version better, but this is still a great live version. Next up is the Sentinel. My favorite Judas Priest song of all time. And this live version is also really good. Again, my favorite version of the Sentinel is the studio version from Defenders of the Faith. But, this live version is also really good. They kind of change up the pacing a little bit in certain areas, slow it down, and, speed it up at times to sort of change it around a bit, and, Have it be of course different than from the studio version, but yeah, pretty good version. I do really enjoy it. Next up is a live version of Private Property, which this is one of those songs that it's from Turbo and they never played live since this album. This version, I love Private Property. I think it's a really great underrated song. This live version is good for the most part. But it kind of sounds weird near the main chorus part. I don't know what it is, but there's like one or two moments here and there in this live version where I think it sounds a bit wonky. But yeah, for the most part, it sounds pretty good. And then next up is Rock You All Around the World. I used to kind of like this song, but I don't know. I don't care for it anymore. I think it's just kind of meh. And the live version's okay. Next up is Electric Eye. Yeah, this is weird. This is very weird. Every other time when Electric Eye is played, even in live versions and the studio version, it's always that Hellion, that very short instrumental, always comes first before Electric Eye starts. But this version, no Hellion. It's just Electric Eye. The Hellion, that instrumental that always goes with it goes before it, not here. It's so weird hearing just Electric Eye and not Hellion right before it. Now, I don't know. It's very weird. And I might be remembering it wrong because I've only listened to this album like once, 1.5 times. So I might be remembering it does just say Electric Eye. Now, like I said, I might be remembering it wrong for whatever reason, but this pretty much just confirms my thoughts that it's not on there. But yeah, I might have gotten it wrong. I might have remembered it wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's not there. Yeah, it's odd. But Electric Eye, very good version of that song. Again, I mostly prefer the studio version, but this one sounds good. Next up is Free Wheel Burning. Oh, I have an issue with this live version. Now, Free Wheel Burning is a song that doesn't always translate well to a live environment. There are certain songs by bands that just don't work well live. And this song, Free Will Burning, even though I think the studio version is one of the best Judas Priest songs ever, this live version just does not sound right. It sounds weird. I don't know how to properly describe it, but it sounds very weird. They try to speed it up even more so than on the studio version, which is it's already pretty fast to begin with, but they try to speed it up even more, and it just really wrecks the pacing. Like it sounds awful, the speed, making it even more speedy than it already is. For some reason, just really ruins it. Really makes the riff sound very odd. The timing of certain time signatures sound off. And just overall, it's just a very bad live version of Free Will Burning. And there aren't many live versions of this song that I think sound that good either. But yeah. Next up is a live version of arguably my second or third favorite song from Turbo, and that's Parental Guidance. This version is really good. I slightly prefer the studio version better, but this live version is actually pretty good. I do really enjoy it. And then next up is Living After Midnight. One of the best songs, and one of the greatest songs that is able to be translated well into a live version. Again, love the song. Love pretty much every version of it, studio and live. And yeah, just a great song. And then the last song is You've Got Another Thing Coming. I don't like this song. I've never liked it. It's just kind of overplayed. overrated and overpraised. I don't know. I just don't like it. But yeah, that's where the track listing ends. Alright, so before I get into my final thoughts and my verdict, I'm going to show off the artwork really quick and just kind of talk about this. So for this album art, it's nothing spectacular. Like, it's nothing great, but it's good. It's just pretty much just, you know, some hands reaching from the crowd. With a really odd Judas Priest logo that I don't think I've ever seen anywhere else. You know, JP right there in the black circle. I don't know if this version of that abbreviation of this logo is just for this, or if it's appeared somewhere else before. I don't know. Looks pretty odd. Then of course you got Priest Live here, which is the name of the live album. And you get this really cool metallic gold sheen. Like, you can't really see it well on the camera, but it's a very shiny metallic gold color for the background. Which also is on the back as well. And then, of course, the back, you get the track listing, as well as pictures of the band members. I don't know if you can see that. And then you got a little message here saying, this Judas Priest concert is dedicated to you, our fans. And then, this is actually a gatefold. It's a 2-vinyl gatefold. There isn't much on the inside, but there is a picture of the live show. Hold on. There you go. So overall, it is a very good Judas Priest live album. It's not my absolute favorite. Like I said, my absolute favorite is 98 Live Meltdown, followed by hold on, this is stuck. Give me a second. Alright. 98 Live Meltdown, followed by, I don't know, probably, God, now I forgot. Maybe, Live in London, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, this is definitely, again, probably my third favorite, by them. And yeah, it is pretty good for the most part. Although I will say that in certain songs at some points here and there, the production sounds a little too slick and manufactured sounding, which is very odd considering that it's not a studio album, it's a live album. So you do expect it to be some kind of at some level of rawness, but this is a very slick production, and at times it's a little bit too slick and manufactured sounding. But overall, for the most part, it sounds pretty good. Like I said, there are some songs on here that just do not work live, like Free Will Burning. But you know, for the most part, most of the songs sound really, really good. It's kind of odd that, you know, Hellion isn't before Electric Eye. But it's good to have certain songs on here that you don't see anywhere else in any other live albums. Overall, I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. Again, there's not very much wrong with it except for, again, 2 things. And maybe 3 if you're counting the oddness of the production. But overall, I do really enjoy this live album. And yeah, it's an 8 out of 10. Hold on. Also, if you're gonna get this, just beware that this since it's a gatefold and it's very thick, a lot of the sleeves are kind of a little bit slightly too small. So you're gonna have to. It's gonna take a minute or 2 before you're able to slide it in like that, because of how thick it is. Anyway, so that's about it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time.